The Man I Could Not Recognize. Written by Daintyjha. For DigiCafé DaintyStories. Date written 26th of June 2026. Chapter 1. The Life She Had Planned. Elara Vale had planned her life with the precision of someone who believed the future could be disciplined into obedience. At 26, she owned 3 planners. One for work, one for personal goals, and one for the life she was supposed to build with Adrian Cross. The last one was ivory-colored, leather-bound, and absurdly expensive. Adrian had given it to her the year he proposed, smiling as he placed it in her hands like he was giving her a promise instead of paper. "For all the things we will become," he had said. Back then, Elara had believed him. She believed in plans. She believed in effort. She believed that if a person worked hard enough, loved carefully enough, and made the right choices, life would reward them with stability. Her mornings began at 6. Black coffee. No sugar. 30 minutes of reading market reports on luxury travel trends. A short run along the river. Then work. Elara was building a career in hospitality consulting, the kind of career that made people raise their eyebrows when she spoke about it. She wanted to help design guest experiences for high-end hotels and resorts, not just pretty spaces with expensive furniture, but places where people felt remembered, seen. She had once told Adrian that the greatest luxury in the world has not marble floors or ocean views. It was being recognized. He had laughed then, kissed her forehead, and said, "That sounds like something only you would say." At the time, she had taken it as affection. Later, she would wonder if he had ever truly understood her at all. Their wedding was 7 months away. The venue had been booked. The guest list finalized. Her dress chosen after only 2 appointments because Elara did not believe in indecision. Her mother cried when she saw it. Her friends teased her for being too calm. Adrian called her perfect. Perfect. That word followed her everywhere. Perfect daughter. Perfect student. Perfect fiancée. Perfect future wife. Elara had worn the word like a tailored coat. It fit beautifully, even when it became hard to breathe beneath it. On the night everything changed, she was not supposed to be on that road. That was the first fact people repeated afterward, as if it mattered, as if tragedy checked calendars before arriving. She had stayed late at work preparing a presentation for a potential client, a luxury resort group with international properties and impossibly high standards. The meeting was supposed to be her breakthrough. If it went well, she would lead the project. Not assist, not observe, lead. Adrian had called twice. She ignored the first call because she was revising slides. She answered the second. "You are still at the office?" he asked. "I am leaving soon. You said that an hour ago." "I know. I am sorry." There was a pause on his end. Not anger exactly. Something colder. Disappointment dressed as concern. "Elara, you do this all the time." She leaned back in her chair and rubbed her tired eyes. "Do what? Make everything else more important. That is not fair. I am not fighting with you tonight." "Then do not." Silence. She regretted the words immediately. Adrian sighed. "Just come home." He always said it like it already belonged to both of them, though they still lived in separate apartments. His place was larger, cleaner, more expensive. Hers had stacks of books, half-finished mood boards, and sticky notes on the refrigerator. His looked ready for guests. Hers looked alive. "I will be there in 30 minutes, she said. "You promise?" Elara looked at the ivory planner beside her laptop. Their planner. Their future. "I promise." It was raining when she left. Not heavily, but enough to turn the city lights blurry and gold against the windshield. The road shimmered ahead of her, slick and dark. She remembered turning on the heat. She remembered the sound of tires whispering over wet asphalt. She remembered thinking about Adrian, about whether she should apologize first or wait for him to soften. Then headlights appeared too fast from the left. A horn screamed. Her hands tightened around the wheel. For one impossible second, Elara saw everything clearly. The rain, the light, the shape of another car sliding toward her. Then impact. Metal tore, glass burst. The world flipped sideways. And the future she had written so carefully was ripped from her hands. When Elara woke, she did not know where she was. White ceiling, sharp chemical smell, machines breathing beside her. Her skull felt too small for the pain inside it. She tried to move, but her body answered in fragments. Fingers first, then toes. Her throat burned. Someone gasped. A woman rushed toward the bed. Elara? The woman was crying. Elara stared at her face. Dark eyes, pale mouth, trembling chin, familiar voice, unknown face. Fear slid coldly through her veins. Elara, sweetheart, it is me. The woman reached for her hand. Elara pulled back. The woman froze as if struck. A man appeared beside her. Older, tall, gray at the temples. His eyes were wet too. Elara, he said softly. She knew that voice. Her father. She looked from him to the woman. Her mother. Her mother had held her when she was sick. Her mother had braided her hair before school. Her mother had cried at the bridal boutique. And Elara could not recognize her face. Her pulse began to race. A nurse entered. Then a doctor. Questions came gently at first, then more firmly. Did she know her name? Yes. Did she know the date? Number. Did she remember the accident? Pieces. Did she recognize her parents? Elara turned her head away. The room went painfully quiet. Days passed in flashes. Scans. Tests. Whispers. Adrian came on the third day. At least, they told her it was Adrian. He stood near the doorway holding flowers she disliked. White lilies. Funeral flowers. She had once called them. He looked handsome. She could tell that much. A tall man in the dark coat, with carefully styled hair, and a face that should have meant everything to her. But it meant nothing. Elara, he said. Her heart reacted before her mind did. That voice. Warm. Smooth. Familiar. Her body remembered him. Her eyes did not. She began to cry before he reached the bed. Adrian sat beside her and took her hand. His grip was gentle, but there was hesitation in it. A fraction of a second too long before his fingers closed around hers. I am here, he said. She clung to those words because she had nothing else. The diagnosis came later. Prosopagnosia. Face blindness. A neurological condition caused by damage from the accident. Her vision worked. Her memory worked. She could describe a person's hair, clothes, height, and voice, but faces no longer became identity. Her mother could walk out of the room, change her sweater, and come back looking like a stranger. Adrian could stand in front of her, and unless he spoke, she would not know him. The doctor explained it carefully. Elara listened carefully, because that was what she did. She gathered information. She organized fear into categories. She made plans. But some things resisted planning. At home, mirrors became cruel, not because she did not recognize herself completely. She usually could, with effort. Her own face had become a puzzle she solved every morning by context. The scar near her hairline, the small mole under her left eye, the familiar shape of her mouth. Still, she would sometimes catch her reflection unexpectedly and flinch. A woman would be standing in the glass. A stranger wearing her grief. Adrian tried at first. He labeled photos in her phone. He announced himself when entering rooms. It is me, he would say. Adrian. He drove her to appointments, sat through consultations, slept badly on her couch when she was afraid to be alone. People praised him. You are lucky, they told Elara. He is such a good man, so devoted. Not everyone would stay. Those words planted something ugly inside her. Not gratitude, debt. She began to feel like a burden someone else was being congratulated for carrying. The wedding was postponed, not canceled. Postponed. That was the word everyone used because it was softer, kinder, less honest. Elara stopped opening the ivory planner. Adrian stopped mentioning venues. Her career opportunity disappeared. The resort group hired someone else. Her company expressed sympathy, then reassigned her responsibilities. Important meetings went to other people. Clients needed confidence, her supervisor said gently. Confidence. As if hers had not been dragged bleeding from the wreckage with her. Months passed. Elara learned systems, voices, gait, perfume, jewelry, context. Her father wore cedarwood cologne. Her mother hummed when nervous. Her best friend, Myra, clicked her tongue before lying. Adrian tapped twice on any door before entering. Knock, knock, always two. Eventually, Elara could recognize him by the rhythm. Then even that changed. He visited less, called less. When he did come, his voice carried exhaustion he tried to hide. One evening, nearly 8 months after the accident, Elara found him standing by her kitchen window. She knew it was him because of the coat. Heavy wool, silver buttons. He had worn it the night he proposed. "You are quiet," she said. He did not turn around. Rain touched the glass. For a moment, the sound pulled her back to headlights and screaming metal. She gripped the counter until the memory passed. "Elara," Adrian said. Her stomach tightened. He only used her full name when something was ending. "What is it?" He turned then. She studied his face and felt nothing. That was the horror of it. The man she had planned forever with stood 3 steps away, and if not for his voice, he could have been anyone. "I do not know how to say this," he said. "Then say it badly." He closed his eyes. She hated him for that, just for a second. Hated that he could close his eyes and still know who she was when he opened them. "I cannot do this anymore." The room did not move. Neither did she. Adrian continued, each word careful, rehearsed, cowardly. "I tried. I swear I tried. But everything is different now. Everything. Not you. Not us. Everything." Elara heard the escape hidden inside the word. "I'm still me," she said. His face twisted. Was it guilt? Pity? Relief? She could not tell. "I know." "No," she whispered. "You do not." He stepped toward her. She stepped back. His hand fell. "I love you," he said, and somehow that hurt worse than if he had said he did not. "But I miss who we were." There it was. The truth. Not cruelly shouted. Not thrown in rage. Just placed between them like a body. He missed the old Elara. The easy Elara. The perfect Elara. The woman who could walk into a room without fear. The woman who could smile at guests and remember names and faces. The woman who matched his future. Not this one. Not the woman counting footsteps and voices. Not the woman who sometimes panicked in supermarkets because everyone became faceless and strange. Not the woman who needed help. Adrian loved the version of her that had died, and he had come to bury the rest. Elara nodded once. The movement felt mechanical. "You should go," she said. "Elara, go." He waited, perhaps expecting her to break, to beg, to remind him of vows not yet spoken but already betrayed. She did not. She stood very still as he walked to the door. Knock, knock. That was how he had always entered. But when he left, he made no sound at all. Afterward, Elara sat on the kitchen floor until morning. No dramatic sobbing, no shattered glass, no screaming, just silence. The kind that rearranged a person from the inside. By sunrise, the rain had stopped. Her phone lay beside her, screen cracked from where she had dropped it. The ivory planner sat on the table across the room. For the first time in months, Elara opened it. The pages were full of a life that no longer existed. Wedding fittings, venue payments, career deadlines, apartment viewings, a future written by a woman who had believed love stayed when life became inconvenient. Elara tore out the first page, then the second, then all of them. By the time she finished, paper covered the floor like snow. She did not feel free. Not yet. Freedom was too clean a word for what remained. What she felt was rage. Quiet, deep, alive. And for the first time since the accident, Elara understood something with perfect clarity. If life refused to recognize her, she would rebuild herself anyway. Not for Adrian, not for pity, not for the ghost of the woman she had been, for the stranger in the mirror, for the woman who had survived. And somewhere far beyond the ruined plans scattered around her, a man she had not yet met was already living behind a mask of his own. A man everyone recognized. A man nobody knew. A man whose face would mean nothing to her, and whose voice, one day, would feel like coming home.